It looks like we're going to go into our next series, Cheese versus Kuonet. That's what I'm being told right now. And it looks like they're going to go straight into Game 5. And once again, both these guys are at a pivotal point of the Swiss. Both of them are undefeated. Now, we don't know too much about how the series actually panned out individually, because I only got to watch a couple of the other series happening, like Muzzy and Nobbler, for example, which is really cool. But we do know that both these guys, if they win, they go 4-0, and it looks like we're going to have a Warrior versus the Shaman. I did manage to catch actually the Game 4 of this match, where I believe Kuonet got like this ridiculous evolve up, where he had like double Bloodlust in the hand. He had like a Sorcerer's Apprentice that got evolved up. He was about to double Bloodlust, and then Cheese managed to just get the right combo to clear it with equality. So it was like this crazy back and forth.
Yeah, Kuonet here, he's playing the Evolve Shaman deck we saw a couple times earlier in the day that has really picked up steam in terms of popularity over the past week or so. Popularized largely by Noblord, in fact, who we have also seen on stream today. And it looks to go wide in the early turns, take a real heavy advantage of cards like Flame Tongue Totem with the token generation, and of course Bloodlust, which can just end the game with a spot if it's able to build enough of the board.
Yeah, but it gets really tricky because building a big enough the board is kind of the hard part when there's a lot of area of effect cards like Whirlwind, like Sleep with the Fishes, like Ravaging Ghoul, and Brawl. Cheese, how many Brawls is he playing in his deck list? Looks like he's got 2. So, he does have a handful of AoE, but he's starting to come up on some really scary turns, particularly from the danger of the first Evolve here. That can come out in the next few turns.
And one of the things that makes this deck so scary is its ability to really not have to commit much more in terms of pressure on the board. It has so many cards that replace themselves. Like, for instance, the Primal Fin Totem, created a Murloc that plus another token just traded into that minion. The real threat is the Flame Tongue Totem, which is just still in play at this point. But the Ravaging Ghoul plus Sleep with the Fishes is going to say something about that and really wipe off all the work that Kuonet has done. That said, his hand is still pretty large because he was able to essentially replace all of those resources.
Defender are going to look for some late game value. Thing from below, kind of what you're looking for as part of those packages. You have really cheap things from below that you can play because you totem a lot, and then you even have the choice of evolving them up to really powerful 7-mana minions if you need to.
Yeah, Kuonet has many of the strongest late game cards in his hand right now. He has Aya Blackpaw, he has that thing from below that he just picked up, as well as Evolve plus Doppelgangster, which for 6 mana and 2 cards makes you 3 6-drops, which if your opponent does not immediately have a Brawl, can often, especially with Bloodlust, just immediately end the game. And yeah, it is time, it looks like.
Here we go. Let's find out what's behind door number 1. We're looking for Cairns, Ayas, anything in between.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's better than Tutu.
It's true.
Except not really the Biteweed. The Biteweed's a little, suboptimal there. But Infested Wolf also will survive past the Brawl or force your opponent to attack into it before they use it.
And this puts the opponent in a really rough spot because, okay, well, how do I deal with all of these relatively large minions? And usually the answer is either Brawl or use some AoE plus Sleep with the Fishes. We've already seen one Sleep with the Fishes down, but here, very importantly, Cheese is able to use that Battle Rage tech that we saw Kolento make such strong use of last weekend in his second place finish in the Europe playoffs to get himself some more resources and pick up another Brawl. Or rather, his first Brawl. He used the Sleep with the Fishes before.
Yeah, the Brawl is going to be really important. And at the same time, too, the timing of Brawl is going to be important.
Yes.
Not to really just use it because you feel intimidated, not to toss into your ups. Because you also eliminate your own board with your Brawl, too, so you want to get value off of these minions first.
The second Doppelgangster is not nearly as impressive without a copy of Evolve to back it up. And Kuonet here, he's got to start evaluating, okay, how much can I actually put in the board to pressure my opponent? How much can I save in reserve in case of a Brawl? Because Cheese just did draw quite a few cards, and now you have to imagine that the threat of Brawl is very real.
All right, well, Kuonet kind of looking for an opportunity here. I mean, the strongest individual minion that you can play right now is Aya Blackpaw just for raw stats, but it kind of floats that 1 mana. I feel like Kuonet's leading towards finding an opportunity to totem to discount his thing from below as well. That is one of the things, too, that I think we were talking about in the backstage, that this deck kind of baits people into toteming a lot, and some people are saying that it's a little dangerous sometimes. So we'll see what ends up happening. He goes for immediate Alakir off the Stonehill Defender. That's a pretty big pickup.
And that is very important because Other than just getting an overwhelming board presence, one way that this deck wins is with burst damage. A lot of that is via Bloodlust. Sometimes you don't quite get enough damage to actually kill your opponent with Bloodlust, so if you're able to connect with a big board with a Bloodlust and then have the Alakir to follow up and end the game, that could be quite powerful, though less so against an opponent who's going to start dropping really big taunts as this deck can do. And
this is the turn for Primordial Drake as 8 mana is available. Now Cheese has to kind of weigh if he wants to be a little bit off timing with the Primordial Drake, but it seemed pretty good. It kills 3 minions or so, and now all of a sudden the threat of Bloodlust isn't nearly as big, although how much damage is it right now?
Bloodlust represents it doesn't really do very well through this Primordial Drake here, but the Alakir gets to attack into this and only loses Divine Shield, so able to get some damage in through and keep Alakir in play for the next turn. And now, if Cheese doesn't remove the Alakir, it gets double attacking with Bloodlust, which is super strong.
Yeah, 12 damage just from that bad boy alone. As you look at Kuonet's road, of course, through the America Spring playoffs, having defeated some pretty notable players, Fibonacci and Astrogation. We've all seen them on stream before. We've all seen their great ladder results. Kuonet actually also has migrated from the APAC region. He played in the winter playoff for APAC at one point, for Taiwan preliminary, and then has now came over here. He's a big NBA fan, apparently, maybe local to Southern California because he's playing from Lake Forest. Maybe a big Lakers fan. Or if he's a Clippers fan, I feel sorry for him. Actually, it's the reverse way right now.
Nowadays, isn't it the other way
But
around?
in the future, I mean.
All right, well, the brawl. Will we feel sorry for one of the players here with this result? It is the 1-1 that lives. That is a big hit to Kuonet, but he has a lot to help him get back into this game with even just Aya plus Thing from Below if he wants available this turn.
Yeah, that's a really strong post-brawl board. Being able to just set up a string of Jades. And it's pretty unlikely that your opponent has the second brawl here. And even if he had Sleep with the Fishes, you still have another Jade that comes out of Aya. So very strong opportunity.
Harrison Jones does pick up 2 extra cards because Kuonet did not attack with that the Jade Claws first, but doesn't really find much. He does have an Execute, so he could Whirlwind and Execute down the Thing from Below, then get an attack in with his Bloodhoof Brave, but is that enough to stave off lethal with Patches plus Bloodlust next turn?
Because you can squeeze in the Fire War Axe and clean up a lot too.
That's true.
So it does actually clean up almost everything on the board except for Aya.
Yeah, that Execute was actually a really big draw here to enable him to get through the Thing from Below and not even lose his taunt.
Yeah, and then I do want to. We also want to kind of update on how far Cheese is progressing through with his quest. Right now, we're trying to see if Cheese can even turn the tides, because the thing is, he's stabilizing right now, but he has to also find a way to really pressure his opponent, and if these minions do end up sticking, that's the way he's going to do it. Although
this could be lethal damage here, I believe.
Yeah.
With Patches Bloodlust Devolve, he has enough mana. If Devolve doesn't hit a taunt for Cheese, this would be ability for Kuonet to get through and have lethal damage this turn.
Yeah, there's a handful of 3 and 4 mana taunt minions. You have, Ironford Grizzly and Ascension Shieldmaster, so Kuonet's just gotta dodge that. And I mean, if you have a chance to win right now, I say go for it. Devolve comes down, and
there it is.
No taunt. So Kuonet's gonna go 4-0 in the Swiss and give Cheese his first loss with, once again, this Evolved Shaman really impressing us. I mean, it's kind of had some mixed results for some people. Other casters were actually in the backstage saying, I don't think that deck's any good. And I was saying, you know what, I think you guys are sleeping on it a little bit. It's definitely got its place in the meta.
Yeah, it's definitely capable of some very powerful things. I mean, we saw it fight through the Ravaging Ghoul plus Sleep with the Fishes and the Brawl and
Primordial Drake.
Right, a lot of AoE removing its board, but because it has so many cards that replace themselves, just able to keep generating minions to the board and eventually punch through.
Granted, that was kind of its last push. I mean, he did have a Doppelgangster remaining, so perhaps he had an opportunity to maybe evolve or like one last final push with that, but it still looked like that was, and the Taunt Warrior is also kind of running thin too. He only had an Acolyte of Pain, he had no way to activate anymore. So it was gonna be really tough for him either way. Either way, we're finishing up with round 4, so hope you guys enjoy. We're going to start round